The base was loud that morning. Helicopters rotating overhead, soldiers running training drills, radios crackling with logistics chatter. Dust rolled across the concrete like restless fog. The army base wasn't new, but it wasn't worn down either. It was efficient, loud, and alive. Every uniform, every boot step had purpose. Alex Morgan stepped onto the tarmac, her boots hitting the ground with calm certainty. Her uniform carried the patch of a field officer, clean, sharp, standard regulation. But sewn inside the collar was something no one saw, the insignia of a classified command unit. She walked with a confidence that didn't beg for attention. Yet people noticed her anyway. Not because she demanded respect, but because she owned space without asking for permission. Some soldiers glanced at her and then looked away. Others stared a moment longer. Curiosity mixed with skepticism. New officers always got judged. But a woman? In command. That stirred something deeper. Whispers floated around her as she moved. Quiet, but not quiet enough. Who's she? She's too small to be running anything. She looks like intel, not command. She's probably here to report to Captain Harris. Alex heard every word, and none of it mattered. She approached the command building. Large glass doors, metal framing, sharp military architecture. Before she stepped inside, her radio buzzed. "Ma'am, briefing in 10 minutes. Captain Harris is already inside." Alex responded calmly. "Copy. I'll be there shortly." Inside the command room, screens displayed terrain maps, red markers, intel reports, reconnaissance drone imagery. At the central briefing table stood Captain Bradley Harris, broad-shouldered, loud, and very sure of himself. His posture was rigid, chin raised like someone who believed rank was a crown, not a responsibility. He glanced at Alex when she entered and smirked. "Lieutenant Morgan, right?" "Alex Bose, no." "Alex Morgan." She didn't state her rank. She let silence do the work. Captain Harris chuckled. "Saw the... Hard to tell these days with all the restructuring. Pretty soon we'll have people walking in thinking they outrank actual field leadership." The room went quiet. An O1 moved. An O1 defended her. Because no one knew who she really was. Not yet. Alex walked past him, calm as still water. She placed her folder on the table, then looked up. "Let's begin." Harris raised an eyebrow. "I think you're confused. I run this briefing." Alex slowly closed the folder and looked him directly in the eye. "Captain Harris," she said with the calmness of scalpel. Not loud, not angry, but precise. "Everyone here reports to me. No emphasis, just truth." The room froze. Someone coughed. Someone else swallowed hard. Captain Harris blinked once, processing, before laughing loudly. You're in charge? Who promoted you, TikTok?" Some soldiers chuckled, and they regretted it immediately, because at that moment, the double doors opened, fast, and 3 high-ranking officers entered, a colonel, a general, and a civilian with an encrypted clearance badge, CIA. All of them walked straight to Alex. The general spoke first. "Commander Morgan, apologies for the delay. The president sends acknowledgement. Your authority is confirmed." The room shifted. Harris's face drained of confidence. Alex nodded once. "Thank you, sir." The civilian handed her a classified tablet. "The operation is now yours." Then, unexpectedly, he saluted her, not military style, but respectfully, like someone who knew the weight of what she carried. Alex opened the briefing. Her voice was steady, controlled, and impossible to ignore. "We have a hostage situation across the border," she stated. 12 Americans, 3 NATO officers, 1 civilian scientist with nuclear clearance. Satellite imagery flashed on the screens. She continued, "The enemy is organized, heavily armed, and positioned in fortified terrain. Negotiation has failed. Time is running out." Soldiers leaned forward. She pointed to the map. "We go tonight." Captain Harris finally spoke, quietly now. You're leading the operation?" Alex didn't look at him. She looked at the room. "I am commanding it." She tapped the screen. "And some of you will be coming with me." Silence stretched across the room like a loaded weapon. Then she finished. "If you have a problem with that, speak now." No one did. Because suddenly everyone realized they hadn't been introduced to just another officer. They had been introduced to the person the military called when failure wasn't an option. Training prep began immediately. Gear checks, encrypted comms testing, flight formations. Alex walked the staging grounds, correcting weapon setups, adjusting tactical plates, tightening straps. She didn't do it to micromanage. She did it because she'd seen soldiers die from preventable mistakes. Captain Harris approached tentatively, not angry, not arrogant, just confused. Why you? He finally asked. Alex tightened a strap on a soldier's vest before answering. Because I've done this before. Harris frowned. Where? Alex looked at him. Places no one knows exist. He swallowed and didn't ask again. Hours later, the night air was cold. Stars flickered above the runway as helicopters powered up, blades chopping through the darkness. The soldiers stood ready. NVG mounts ready, radios synced, weapons loaded. Alex strapped in her gear, smooth, practiced, without hesitation. Before boarding, she turned to the team. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried. Listen carefully. Every soldier focused. There will be fear. There will be noise. There will be chaos. None of that decides the outcome. She paused. You do. Someone exhaled shakily. She continued, follow orders. Trust one another. And remember why we are going. She pulled her helmet into place. No one gets left behind. The team responded, and no one. And then the helicopters lifted into the night. Engines roaring, blades slicing the dark sky as they headed toward enemy territory. The enemy compound was surrounded with watchtowers, patrol teams, and thermal detection fencing. It wasn't sloppy. It was intentional, disciplined, lethal, which meant Alex respected it. The helicopters landed silently 2 kilometers away, stealth insertion. The team advanced through rocky terrain, night vision goggles scanning every heat signature. Alex led point. She didn't shout orders. She whispered them, clear, controlled. Harris, take your team left. Secure the ridge. He didn't question her. Not anymore. Minutes later, the first firefight erupted. Enemy patrols spotted Harris's squad. Gunfire burst across the ridge. Contact, someone shouted. Alex didn't run. She moved, fast, fluid, precise. She fired 2 shots. Each one deliberate point. 2 enemies dropped. She advanced. Push forward. Control the high ground. Harris's team followed her momentum. Fear transforming into discipline. Within 90 seconds, they secured the ridge. Harris looked at her, not with resentment, but respect. Real respect. Inside the compound walls, the environment was brutal. Tight angles, blind corners, reinforced buildings. Alex signaled silently. Point 3 team split. Her team breached first, a flashbang, then entry. Point 1 hostage room, locked, guarded. Alex moved low, fired clean shots, and advanced. The hostages trembled, but she spoke calmly. You're safe. We're getting you out. The scientist with nuclear clearance burst into tears. Harris entered behind her. We have 5 more buildings to clear. Alex nodded. Then let's finish. The final resistance was fierce. Rockets fired. Snipers engaged. Machine guns pinned her team behind a concrete barrier. Point 1 soldier panicked. We're pinned. We can't push. Alex put a hand on his shoulder. Breathe. Fear isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. She peeked out, measured distances, calculated timing. Then she moved. A sprint, a slide, a burst of gunfire. Her rifle barked with precision. 1 target down, then another, then another. Harris watched, stunned. She wasn't reckless. She was surgical. Within minutes, the last defensive position fell. And then, silence. The battle was over. Extraction was smooth, hostages airlifted, injuries treated, soldiers accounted for as the helicopters carried them home. Harris sat across from Alex. Helmet off, face exhausted. He finally spoke, voice low. I misjudged you. Alex didn't smile. Most people do. He nodded. You shouldn't have had to prove anything. Alex looked out the window, the black sky slowly glowing with the first hints of dawn. Respect isn't given, she said softly. It's earned. Harris nodded, not as a soldier under command, but as someone who now understood leadership. Real leadership, Back at base, when the helicopter landed, soldiers lined the runway. Not because they were ordered, because they wanted it. As Alex stepped onto the ground, every soldier raised their hand and saluted, even those who doubted her, especially those who doubted her. Harris stepped forward, voice loud and clear. Commander Morgan, mission successful. All hostages safe. Zero casualties. The base erupted into applause. Alex didn't bow. She didn't brag. She simply nodded. Because victory didn't require noise, just truth. And now everyone finally knew it. The captain didn't outrank her. The doubt didn't define her. And the battlefield didn't break her. Because leadership wasn't about power, it was about responsibility. And Alex Morgan carried both, without fear, without apology, without permission. If you're listening to this right now, hit like if you enjoyed the story, subscribe to the channel Her Brave Stories, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? More powerful stories are coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.